Good afternoon, Chamber members. For those of you I have not yet met in person, I'm Sabrina Binkley, Head of School at Spruce Tree Montessori and Chair of the Fairbanks Chamber Board of Directors. I'd like to take a moment, as we do each week, to recognize and thank our executive partners whose logos you saw on the screen before we began our program today. These businesses provide a rock-solid foundation for the Fairbanks Chamber to be successful throughout the year. Their support is not only financial. These businesses share knowledge and experience that helps shape and direct our advocacy efforts and really creates awareness that drives economic strength and growth for Interior Alaska. A full list of our executive partners can be found on our website. I'd like to welcome Brenna to help us recognize our new and renewing members right now. Brenna?
Thank you, Sabrina, and hello, everyone. We have two new members to welcome this week, and those are Aurora Visual Connections and Royal Caribbean Group. And I know everyone is excited for Royal Caribbean. Who doesn't want to be somewhere Caribbean right now? And then we'd also like to thank our renewing members, Hagen Associates, Love Inc., Greater Fairbanks Board of Realtors, Quota International, Alaska Dog Mushers Association, Godwa Bookkeeping, and Boeing. We'd also like to thank our 110% club members that have joined the 110% club because they've given above and beyond their normal dues to support our advocacy actions. And those are Silver Gulch Brewing and Bottling Company, The Boat Shop, and Forbes Storage. Today's membership moment actually echoes something that we talked about 2 weeks ago, just to kind of remind our members that a new feature is now available to you called the Extra Scoop. This is a featured section in our Thursday newsletter that you can now purchase for a small fee to advertise any upcoming events or calls to action that you'd like the membership to know about. This could be a fundraiser that you have coming up that you want a little bit more publicity spotlighted on, or something that you want to shout out to the community that you want to do through our membership. If you have any questions, you can contact myself or Katie Yarrow, and you can always give us a call at the Fairbanks Chamber office. That's all. Back to you, Sabrina.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Brenna. The Fairbanks Chamber Board of Directors met yesterday. Our group did a review of our current 2020 advocacy agenda and talked through the process of how our organization updates this document on an annual basis through the work of our staff, our membership, our advocacy committees, and our board of directors. The advocacy agenda is the document that serves as the framework for advocacy efforts spearheaded by the Chamber and can be found on our website. If any Fairbanks Chamber member is curious about this process or how you can be more involved with the advocacy efforts through our Chamber, please reach out to Janelle to find out more about our committees, their work, and their meeting schedules. You can also find more information about each of our committees on our website. We also approved a letter submitted to our board for consideration by the Chamber's Education and Workforce Development Committee supporting in-person learning as soon and as safely as possible. This letter will be sent to the district school board and superintendent. Marissa, it's time for your president and CEO report, please.
Great, thank you so much, Sabrina. I did something and lost my notes here. All right, so I have just a couple of announcements here on behalf of Chamber staff. I just want to let everyone know that Leadership Fairbanks kicks off tomorrow. So thank you to all of our member businesses that have put forth leaders from your organizations to support them growing, contributing, and engaging in our community. I would really quickly like to run through and virtually introduce everyone to the Leadership Fairbanks class of 2021. We have, and these are in alphabetical order by last name. So Michaela Anderson with Alaska Republican Party, Aaron Boronsky of Lifewater Engineering Company, Kimberly Bouchard of Mac Federal Credit Union, Madison Binkley, Riverboat Discovery and Gold Dredge number 8, Janelle Chouanière of the Fairbanks Chamber, Aaron Danielson, Fairbanks International Airport, Matthew Ellis of Mount McKinley Bank, Michael Jaramello of Shannon and Wilson, Megan Kittleman of Mount McKinley Bank, Jennifer Luke, the United Way of the Tanana Valley, Matthew McClurg of Fairbanks International Airport, Cassandra Sewell of Alaska PTAC, Brittany Smart with the Fairbanks North Starborough, and Tanisha Smith with the Fairbanks Youth Soccer Association. We're really excited to welcome this cohort tomorrow morning for their first of 9 sessions. And as a reminder, this program runs in line with the academic year. So they'll conclude and graduate in May of 2021. I also want to say thank you to our Leadership Fairbanks sponsors for 2020. That is Shannon and Wilson, Design Alaska, Kaizen Associates, GCI, Mac Federal Credit Union, ConocoPhillips Alaska, Wells Fargo, USABILI Coal Mine, and Summers Sotheby's International Realty. We're so grateful for your continued support and making sure that we can continue to offer high quality programming through our Leadership Fairbanks program. We'd also like to give a shout out to Good Cannabis. They were the scholarship sponsor for this year, and because of them, we were able to extend this Leadership Fairbanks opportunity even further, and we really appreciate their support and contributions to the program. Next, I'd like to remind our membership that we are looking forward to hosting a ribbon cutting ceremony for McKinley Orthopedics, Sports Medicine, and Spine on Wednesday, that's tomorrow, at 4:30. This event will be streamed live on Fairbanks Chamber's Facebook page, and you'll find there Dr. Carey will be talking about new spine services that will be offered through their practice. Be sure to like us on Facebook and watch for notifications for when we go live, or you can set a reminder in your phone to tune in at 4:30 tomorrow. Because it's 2020 and because of coronavirus, a lot of these events are being held virtually. And so your quick attention on Facebook is a really good way to engage with our new members and engage with other people in the business community for these quick, fun events. And then also be sure to check back on Facebook later in the week for a 20 questions video that is produced by Brenna, who you saw earlier, and also Katie here in the office, where you'll get to hear a more detailed, in-depth interview with Dr. Carey and also a tour of their space. And finally, the Fairbanks Chamber Board of Directors elections will close tomorrow at 5 p.m. We have sent multiple emails to the primary representative of each chamber member over the last 2 weeks. If you have not received that email, or if you're not sure who the primary rep for your business is, and if you want to see if that vote has been cast on behalf of your business, please make sure that you call our office, and do that sooner rather than later so that we have an opportunity to assist you and make sure that you have the opportunity to cast your vote. This is very important to me as you are selecting my future bosses. So thank you on behalf of me and the rest of the chamber staff and also the board of directors for helping choose our future leaders here at the Fairbanks Chamber. You can find more details about all of this and more at our website at fairbankschamber.org. And with that, I'll turn it back to Sabrina.
Thanks, Marissa. Very thorough, as usual. So now for our main presentation. You know, historically, our weekly business luncheon has been the venue for the United Way of the Tanana Valley's Workplace Campaign Kickoff, and we are so proud to continue that partnership today virtually. You know, typically we have our famous, very lively dessert auction. And this week, while our platform may be different, the call to action remains the same. So our guests today are Jonathan Bradish. He is the board president for the United Way of the Tanana Valley and has served as a board member for 8 years. He's a realtor at Hedgecock Group Real Estate and a born and raised Fairbanksan. Jennifer Luke joined the United Way as interim executive director after 6 years on the board. She will remain in this capacity through this campaign year. In addition to this role, she's also a Fairbanks North Star Borough School Board member and brings years of experience to her position. Alicia Burka is the executive director at Thrive Alaska and has worked at Thrive for 36 years, retiring at the end of this year. Additionally, she is the agency liaison for the United Way's partner agencies, ensuring that the agencies have a representative on the United Way's board. Alicia, great to see you, and thank you for your service to Thrive, and congrats on your upcoming retirement. Thank you all so much for joining us today. Take it away, Jonathan.
Awesome. Thank you, Sabrina, for that introduction. And thank you to the Chamber for hosting this great event again this year. This is my third time presenting. It's a little different, obviously, but I'm still looking forward to it. We got a lot of great things to share. I always like to start off, when I'm asked in the community why I'm involved with the board on the United Way, I've been there for 7 or 8 years now. I always answer the same way. I always say, this community has given me so much and my family that I want to give back and do what I can, and I want to live united. And I always say, what does living united mean to me? You see it on our website, you see it on our ads, you see it on our t-shirts, but what does it really mean? And also, what does it mean during a global pandemic setting? To me, it means we're building a stronger community through partnerships. These partnerships and these relationships can be built monetarily, they can be built with volunteers, and they can be built with advocacy. So those are our three pillars that we live united every day. They're all equally important. Nothing showed that more than these recent months, right? So as the United Way of the Tanana Valley was wrapping up its last campaign, we, along with the world, were presented with the news of this global pandemic. Right now in Fairbanks and really all over the world, it's a time to recover, it's a time to restore, and it's a time to continue hard work, that our nonprofits are currently engaged in. Things just don't stop. There's just more need, right? And with that, I'd like to highlight, something I'm really proud of at the United Way. I know we all are. The story of how the United Way of the Tanana Valley was able to provide immediate change and impact with our COVID relief fund. So back in March, when this hit everything, we said, what can we do? What can we do immediately to create change and to help all these nonprofit agencies? And a huge thanks to Design Alaska. They came through, covered our credit card fees, admin fees. We basically engaged the community for donations. We made these donations immediately available to be streamlined back into the community. In fact, a small committee was formed. We met weekly. We reviewed requests for funding. We had quick but precise chats about how is this going to impact? Is this going to help? We had a lot of submissions that were quite amazing, actually. And I'm proud to say that this small COVID relief fund turned into a big fund, and we raised over $114,000 to help, combat this pandemic in any way we could. And some of the examples I like to highlight, there's just too many to list them all, but we helped the Salvation Army putting together meals and snack packs. We were allowing the warming shelters to stay open and handle more people safely, especially with social distancing. Various amounts of requests for PPE funding, right? So a lot of our nonprofits in town need gloves, they need masks, they need cleaning, they need more staff to clean before they can help their clients. So that was a huge ask. FRA, we helped provide technology for them to provide more services over the internet, so they didn't have to come in person. We helped the Interior of Alaska Center for Nonviolent Living when it came down to quarantining issues, cleaning issues. And a really special one too was supporting our friends down in Tanana. The Tanana Council on Aging really was down to one staff member, struggling to keep her doors open and providing a service to their community. And we were able to step up, provide funding so they can continue, whether it was handing out food, you name it. So that was really great to work with them. And the list really does go on, but I wanted to highlight a few kind of success stories and some amazing work that our community is doing. This global pandemic has hit Alaska for sure, but here at the United Way, we are now focusing on what can we do to help our partners adapt and grow in these challenging times. There is no doubt that this year's campaign will look different. Our workplace presentations will be different. Our chamber presentation kickoff will be different. But in the end, we're here to serve our community. And at the United Way, we are firm believers that together we are stronger. And so, with that said, I'd like to say thanks again to the Chamber for hosting and to help us keep kicking this thing off. I now have the pleasure to reintroduce our new interim executive director, Jennifer Luke. Just to restate, Jennifer's been on the board the past 6 years or so. She's worked extensively with nonprofits in our community even before that, and currently a member on the school board. So on behalf of our board, we are so excited to have Jennifer as part of the team. And so with that, I'd like to turn it over to Jennifer to chat about this year's campaign.
Thank you, Jonathan. And thank you all for just joining us today and over the next few weeks, and for supporting the United Way of the Tanana Valley. We know that this year is different. We know that the world is different than it was even 7 months ago. We know that COVID has had a significant impact on our community, and that is where a lot of concerns and uncertainties that has really weighed on our minds lately. We also know that the United Way has important work to do in the future, now more than ever. So it's my honor as the Executive Director of the United Way to be here with you and to help kick off the 2020 campaign. For years, I've been in awe of the United Way's mission and impact on our community. The work resonates with me, especially as we look towards restoring, repairing, and rebuilding lives, livelihood, and the security in a post-pandemic world. That's kind of a heavy thought. I know it's kind of heavy, but it requires some comforting from someone who can make what overwhelms us seem less overwhelming. Like Mr. Rogers, he was masterful at interpreting the world and its complicated happenings in a way even young children could understand. He stated that when he was a boy, he would see scary things on the news. And he said that his mother would say to him, "Look for the helpers. You will always find people who are helping." There's a lot of comfort in that when you are the person who needs help. There is also a call to action in that story for the rest of us, for you, to be the helpers, to be the people others can look to in times of need and uncertainty. Here in Fairbanks and in our larger community, our partner agencies are those helpers. Countless families in critical situations have had their immediate needs met by the Red Cross. During COVID, the Boys and Girls Club has made their center open to youth who need a place to help them facilitate their schoolwork. As the needs of daily life have shifted, our partners have shifted to keep pace. 2 weeks ago, I was having a conversation with Hannah from Breadline, an agency whose mission is to feed people and affirm lives. And it really, truly does. Breadline feeds about 100 people every day and prepares just as many lunches to go. Hannah mentioned that they didn't have any protein to serve in their meals after that day. But Hannah, the ever optimist, she feeds people. She affirms lives, and in her way and in her jovial spirit, she said, "Well, we'll figure it out. It'll be okay. The community rally, we'll figure it out. We'll keep moving forward," because that's what true helpers do. Even helpers need help, though. So the United Way of the Tanana Valley is where people like Hannah and other partner agencies like Breadline, ACCA, Access Alaska, and 16 others can get connected with financial resources they need to focus on their missions of feeding, affirming, inspiring, and improving the lives of the people in our community. This is why 6 months ago, we, the United Way of the Tanana Valley, created the COVID Fund. We knew our partner agencies were going to have important work to do. And through your generosity, we were able to raise over $114,000. Because of that generosity, I could go back to our office after speaking with Hannah, hold an emergency meeting with our COVID Relief Fund Committee, and in less than 24 hours, we were able to present Hannah and the Breadline with a $10,000 check of donated funds to help ensure that Breadline could keep providing food and affirmation to those in the most desperate of circumstances. This is what the United Way is about. What our purpose is, to help ensure the success and stability of our local nonprofits, our local helpers, the ones working tirelessly in the background, lifting our community up, giving them shelter when they lose their home, giving them food when their pantry is empty, and giving them hope when they feel all is lost. Your donations make that possible. Your support means that there will be helpers when help is needed most, so our community can be resilient when presented with immediate challenges and stay on a steady course to a thriving future for all of us. We at the United Way are committed to leading and partnering through the short-term challenges and long-term opportunities. We hope we can count on your support to make that future happen. And so, without any more wait, it is my privilege to share with you this year's campaign video.
If ever there was a time to ensure support for our home community, it's now. Our neighbors, our friends, and our families depend on each other for help. Thankfully, this is what the interior of Alaska does best.
The United Way of the Tanana Valley is here, helping families, organizations, and programs that directly influence your neighbors and friends. Our focus is on the health, education, and income of those around us, and we are uniquely positioned to be the conduit of support for the interior of Alaska.
Our goal this year is to raise $907 in 2020. That's $907,000 from 2,020 donors. These donations will help prop up the struggling sectors in our community through our local member agencies. If you've ever wanted to hear about the impact of the United Way on the Tanana Valley, then you need to hear the stories from our donors and our local member agencies that work alongside us.
I appreciate the United Way because I feel like our contributions, our efforts towards the United Way are staying here locally. And that's important to me. I like to see the real effects. And I know it's true because I see these people working in our community and delivering services. I think United Way has a really important role because of the fact that there's a structure that is overseeing all these organizations. One thing that I can't do as an individual or it's difficult to do, is vet. Is this a good contribution to do? Is this a good place to go? How much do they need? What is the right value of the resource to spread it around? That's a real comforting thing for me. There's other people that are in that business, in that know, in that opportunity that can make those choices. I don't have to decide which organizations to give to. I don't have to place a value on what the organization's missions are. The United Way does that for me.
We feel that we have to be a good community partner. We want to support those people in the community who need help. And the best way we see to do that is with the United Way. I think the need is only going to get greater. It's not going to get less. And I think that things are going to morph. I would hate to see what this state would look like if we didn't have these organizations working for the betterment for all of us. It's amazing to see all the nonprofits work together and to everyone's benefit. Whether you're using the services or not, you're being benefited by those services because there's somebody that maybe works for you that is taking advantage of those services, somebody that you go to church with that you see in the grocery store, your neighbors. There are people that are being impacted by nonprofits in our community, and that helps all of us, whether it's a direct touch or not.
These are just a few reasons why individuals like myself and organizations like Golden Valley give to the United Way of the Tanana Valley. A stronger, better community is a goal all of us seek to achieve.
For a small nonprofit like us, we don't have a marketing team. There's no way for us to talk to people outside of the people who already know about our services. If you don't need a soup kitchen, you may not know what we do. The United Way is allowing us to talk to more of Fairbanks and to be able to get our mission out to a much broader population. We're excited for this because it means that we're able to do our work and talk about that work to Fairbanks. Because funds from the United Way are unrestricted, it allows us to have more flexibility and deepen the service that we provide here at the Breadline. We're very excited to be part of the United Way. It's flattering in a certain sense because you see everyone else who's involved in this organization, and to know that even an organization as small as us is included in the United Way family is really meaningful because it just shows us that our work is seen and that our work is valued.
I think during COVID is a time where we're all very worried about our families, about our agencies, about the services we might need. But personally, I've found that during times when I'm stressed and worried, actually finding things that I can do to help others is very soothing to the soul. You know, one of the things that is important to us as far as being a United Way partner agency, it's really not just about the funding that we get from United Way, it's about being partners with the other organizations. We get to understand the community in similar ways so that we can plan services around each other so that we're not duplicating. So it's really a lot more than just getting money from United Way. It's about being a true partner in meeting the needs of our community. And I'm glad we have United Way to help lead the way as we do that.
Our mission here in the interior is to provide a safe and supportive community for all. You know, the United Way funds for our agency is integral to what we do. While we are the recipients of some federal and state grants, each one of those grants doesn't pay all the bills. Because these are what we deem to be unrestricted funds, they don't come with a ton of strings that say you can only pay for these things. What we're able to do is the things that really make life meaningful, such as celebrating Christmas, making sure that there's back to school supplies, making sure that kids' birthdays are recognized. There oftentimes are gaps. What I believe that we want in our community, whether it be agencies, whether it be as an individual, whether it be the United Way, is that everyone has an opportunity to live their best life. And that's what we're all here about, is making sure that everyone has an opportunity to live their best life.
Donations to the United Way at the Tanana Valley go directly to supporting our community's essential organizations. Without your support, some of them wouldn't be here. But with your support, they're able to serve the interior, making our home a better place for all of us.
The donations that you make to the United Way of the Tanana Valley are amplified in our community by making sure they're allocated to those that need them the most.
Within a community, there are always going to be pockets of need. As a donor, it can be hard to identify who needs your donation most. That's where we come in. We keep our finger on the pulse of the interior, which allows us to help prioritize critical needs within our hometown. Through our member agencies, your donation is routed towards the people who need it most. For example, even $100 can mean 1 week of food, 3 nights in a shelter, or 4 days of childcare so someone can work to support their family. Another benefit to the funds allocated by the United Way is that they can be used however an organization needs. Grants, while helpful, are only able to be used in very specific ways. But your donation through the United Way of the Tanana Valley is able to be used in whatever way that organization needs. It's the most flexible source of funding for them and enables them to serve in their greatest capacity.
Where there's a need, the United Way is there to help. But it's only through your kindness and generosity that we can make it happen.
Our community is full of people like you,
who are eager to make a difference
and help support those around them.
It's this generosity
that makes the interior
a beautiful place to live,
work,
invest,
and raise our families.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For this year, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed it. There's a lot of work that goes into those, so I want to thank our staff and the member agencies that were a part of it. Thank you to Tyler and the team at the Mammoth Marketing for putting it together again this year. And I think it's almost a perfect segue too now to introduce our next guest here with us today. We've got with us our agency liaison. She's the executive director at Thrive Alaska. So I'd like to turn it over to Alicia Burka to talk a little bit more about what it means to be a part of the United Way.
Thank you so much, Jonathan. So Thrive Alaska is also a partner agency. In the video, you saw the Interior Alaska Center for Nonviolent Living. You saw the Breadline and the Alaska Center for Children and Adults. Thrive Alaska is an early childhood organization, and we have been providing care and services for 46 years in Fairbanks. We started in 1974 during the pipeline era, and we were serving about 500 children and families annually. Now we serve about 4,000. Being a United Way agency is like having a very bright, shining star watching over us. We are so honored to be a part of the United Way family, being one of those helper agencies. United Way is all about people helping people. They are really and truly a champion for human services in our community. United Way has been providing stability for our organization for 7 years. We're a relatively new agency, but some of our organizations have been with United Way since the very beginning. United Way provides all of the member agencies unique opportunities to network with one another and many, many other nonprofits in town. They advertise on our behalf. They fundraise for us every year. This is an example of that. And they provide that unrestricted funding that we so desperately need as a nonprofit. They also host training opportunities that we would never have without. Coming really soon in October, I hear, is the Volunteer Action Center, which is a rebirth of something that United Way did many years ago. And it's just another gift that the partner agencies will receive from United Way. As you heard in the video, nonprofits have slim margin budgets, and we operate with restricted funding. We typically don't have the resources to fund a marketing budget or hire a fund development manager or implement a volunteer program. United Way literally ensures that our community has so many important resources that the partner agencies provide: food for the hungry, clothing, housing, heat and electric assistance, early childhood services, relief for victims of disaster, early detection of health problems, services and accessibility for people who experience a disability, mentoring relationships for children, employment, family respite care, safe havens for victims of domestic violence, literacy education for children and adults, and so much more. We all work together in synergy on behalf of our community. At Thrive Alaska, our mission is helping children and families thrive. Most of our services are provided for free. We provide early childhood education, 2 meals daily. We provide family support and resources, child assessments, parent referrals, books, food, and the list just goes on and on. We typically serve the neediest of the needy in our community. Families who experience homelessness, foster families, families living in poverty, children with a deceased parent, children who experience a disability, families who are unemployed or experiencing substance abuse, domestic violence, incarceration, non-English speaking families and children, and especially right now, families with mental health issues. It's become exacerbated during our COVID times. United Way supports one really important program for us. We call it our Helping Hands program, and we use it to help our families who are already in crisis, who have additional crisis. So we provide medical and dental care, food for a family for a week. We've provided bedding, clothing, transportation so children can get to school and families can go to work or school, electric and heat assistance, winter gear, and again, the list goes on and on. Thrive Alaska operates 3 major programs. We've become an early childhood services hub. We have a Head Start Birth to 5, which is a very unique and holistic program that serves the entire family. We have Thread Childcare Assistance, which is a program that provides childcare tuition assistance for qualifying families. And then we have our Thread Resource and Referral Program, which is part of a larger statewide network that trains early childhood providers to improve quality in their programs, and we educate parents in making good choices in choosing quality care. I like to think that at Thrive Alaska, we build brains. We help build children's brain during that critical, magical, important time of life between birth and age 5, when their brain architecture is actually being formed and developed. We know that trauma and high risk factors can disrupt brain development. So we provide the stable, loving environments with qualified teachers who develop individualized learning plans for each child and goals, and we help families set goals. Children who attend Head Start are ready to start school, they're ready to learn, and they're ready to succeed in life. During the pandemic, our buildings were closed for 3 months, but staff continued to work in the background behind the scenes remotely, and we stayed in contact with all of our children their families, and our providers. We opened up again in June for services, and we're now enrolled at half capacity, which I believe most of the providers in our state are only operating at half capacity. And that's due to the safety restrictions and the staffing issues that we're all experiencing. We know also that childcare is a very important part of our economic recovery, because we know that a strong community needs working families, and working families need quality care. I really appreciate the opportunity to share the story of my organization with you here today. We do need the help of members of our community to continue providing services, especially now during the pandemic recovery period. We encourage you to give to the Community Care Fund. When you give to that, your dollars are going to all of the United Way partner agencies, and your gift has a larger impact. And with your gift, we know that we can help our own community recover and thrive again. Thank you so much again. And I'm going to turn it over now to Jennifer, who's going to talk more about our auction this year.
Thank you so much, Alicia. We appreciate all that you do in our community and for being such a great leader. So now I get to talk about how you get to be involved and participate and become a helper within our community and alongside our partner agencies. It's the auction. So with things being slightly different this year and everything being online, we wanted to ensure that you still had a way to participate, have that call to action, and make that financial impact and difference here in the interior of Alaska. On the link that we will be providing, you can see dollar amounts on our auction page, ranging from $20 all the way up to $5,000. When you click on the amount that you would like to donate, you will see exactly what that dollar amount means to our partner agencies and what they can do for our community with that generous gift, with your generous gift. There is no limit as to how many people would like to donate. There is no limit as to the dollar amount either. To see that for as little as $20, North Star Council on Aging can feed a homebound senior for an entire day. Or for $100, FRA is able to provide 3 hours of respite care to parents of a child with critical or complex medical conditions. Or even that for $250, the Boys and Girls Club can give 5 youth memberships for an entire year. So those are some impactful things that you can see that your dollars can do for our community. Also, we can't go a year without having Glenner and Jerry involved with our auction. So one lucky person can get their very own comedy show by that dynamic duo. And who doesn't want to have Glenner and Jerry for half an hour? And you can also get their comedy collection, which is pretty incredible. And so this auction is the only one that has the highest bidder only. So log in and start your bidding. Also, just to give one more big thank you to Kinross. Their generous $5,000 match makes such a huge impact in our community. So we wanted to thank you one more time. Also, just in closing, that this auction will stay live through the end of September. So if you're busy today, do not forget, log in, go to the auction page, spread the word to everyone that the United Way 2020 campaign has officially started and is now the time to invest and reinvest for our community and our future. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jennifer. Yeah, once again, thank you to the Chamber for hosting us this year. And again, a huge thank you to Kinross Fort Knox for the $5,000 match. Kinross never ceases to amaze me with their generosity toward this community, and we are extremely happy to partner with them year in and year out. So thank you. And finally, thank you to all of you for logging in and being a part of this event with us today. This is different. This has been fun. We look forward to working with so many more new people and businesses this year. It's going to be challenging, but exciting. And, that's what it's about. So it's about making our community stronger, one partnership at a time. So on behalf of our staff at the United Way and on behalf of the board of directors, I want to say thank you, Fairbanks. Thank you to the Chamber. And with that, I'll turn it back over to Sabrina.
Thanks, Jonathan, Jennifer, and Alicia for joining us today and sharing the mission of the United Way with our membership. We certainly appreciate all that the United Way does for our community in making it really, truly the greatest Fairbanks community. And to our listeners and those who tuned in live, thank you for joining us. Don't forget to look for that donation link in the chat, or feel free to email katie@fairbankschamber.org if you would like her to send it directly. I'd encourage you as a member organization to consider a workplace campaign. I'm sure the United Way is standing by for those participants and increased interest in that. So we hope to see you next Tuesday for our political forum series, where we will hear from the candidates for Borough Assembly. Live United, Fairbanks. Thanks so much.